Hello and welcome to another episode of What in the Lore, and in today's video I'm going to be taking a look at 3 key figures from the Garlean Empire that has helped shape the story of Final Fantasy XIV. I plan on going over Cid non Garland, or everyone knows him as Cid, Gaius van Balsar, and Nal van Darnus. Let's jump right into it because this video might be rather lengthy with Cid. Now, Cid non Garland is the leader of the Garland Ironworks, a group of Garlean and Erosian engineers working together to arm Erosia's city-states with the Garmald's powerful technology, Magitech. Now, Cid is an important character on the 7th Umbral Era storyline, working closely with that of the Grand Companies to investigate the recent Garlean activity and its relationship with the meteor, as he was directly responsible for the recent development of Garlean Magitech technology and was also one of the members of Project Meteor 10 years ago, following his father's, Medea's non-Garland's steps. After the incident that destroyed Boja Citadel, Cid learned about the Empire's plans and abandoned the project. He's shown to be an old acquaintance of Gaius van Balsar due to being close to the Imperial Court when he was younger. And on that note, it moves really well into the next topic of this video, Gaius van Balsar, or the Black Wolf. Now, the Black Wolf is a male hero and is the secondary antagonist of the Final Fantasy XIV series, first appearing on the final quest of the main storyline. His rank within the Garlean Empire's army is Imperial Legatus and is one of the generals leading the invasion into Eorzea. He wears full body armor with a sort of projectile weapon attached to the back of his left hand. He also carries a gunblade named Erzbane, or number 9 in Japan, said to have spilled the blood of 9 aspirants to the crown. Gaius is the legatus of the 14th Legion, the Imperial force occupying El Mexico. Prior to the events in the game, he was already well known amongst the Empire's armies due to his abilities as a commander and sensibilities as a governing administrator. He was once a close friend of Medea's non-Garland, the father of Cid non-Garland. When the El Mexican resistance tries to sneak into El Mexico by stealing an airship on Silvertear Falls, he intercepts the group and kills them. He makes his introduction by easily lifting the body of a dead fighter with a single hand to fool and hit the player's path companion. Gaius then attempts to kill the player off, only for Yedea, Papalymo, Gestola, and Thancred to arrive and stop him. Fighting off the 4, Gaius ends the fight by summoning a blast from an Imperial Dreadnought, injuring the player in the 4 Circle of Knowing members. As revealed in one of the 7th Umbral Era side quests via an echo of a Gridanian soldier who eavesdropped a conversation between him and Nal van Darnus, Gaius saw Neil's plans to cast Meteor upon Eorzea as a senseless act of genocide. When he later attempts to kill the player character, Gaius is stopped by Cid and takes his leave after hitting the traitor's arm with a blast of his arm weapon when provoked. Once the companies discover the construction of Castrum Novum, the player finds Gaius during his or her investigations on a wrecked Garlean airship in Mordona. The Legatus congratulates his skill in defeating his troops and allow the player to leave with some Garlean schematics related to the Lunar Transmit, the machine that can control Dalmon, and return it to Cid, as that is the only hope Eorzea has to survive the meteor. He then explains that this is no mercy act, and affirms that Garmald will annihilate the primals and dominate Eorzea with or without the meteor. But he fears that Dalmon is much more than that, even when the Empire believes it to be, and Nal van Darnus has his own agenda with Meteor. After Nal's defeat, Gaius once again appears during the pilgrimage to awaken the 12. He congratulates the player over the victory against the White Raven and tells the current position of the 7th Legion, as he still hopes Dalmon can be stopped so the Empire may claim over Eorzea, and not just as it remains. However, the 7th Umbral Era occurs when the Empire forced to fall back when Bahamut appears to devastate the land. All we know so far of Gaius in A Realm Reborn is that from a trailer shown at E3 in 2013, where Gaius is sent back to Eorzea with reinforcements to attempt another conquest. Now, some fun little trivia about Gaius. Gaius is derived from the Greek word Gaia, which means earth. Additionally, Gaius is a common Roman given name. It was the first name of many famous Romans throughout history, including Julius Caesar, Augustus Caesar, and Caligula. Von is based on a German word, von, which means from, and is used to show that someone is of a noble descent. Gaius' armor closely resembles suits worn by the Arcadian judges from Final Fantasy XII, and in particular, Geese. He was known amongst the community as Zolvan since his first appearance, but a post on the company page changed his name. Gaius' Japanese voice actor is Akio Otsuka, who voiced Gabranth in Final Fantasy XII. He said jokingly that he thought he was playing a judge, again due to the similar armor. But I did mention Nell Von Dernius a little bit while I was talking about Gaius, so let's take a minute and talk about him. Nell Von Dernius is also known as the White Raven, or rather the literal translation from his Japanese name is the White Silver Bird of Ill Omens. Nell Von Dernius is the main antagonist of Final Fantasy XIV. Legatus of the 7th Legion dispatched to the Western Front, he boasts a distinguished parentage to his late father, a founding figure of the Garlean Empire, and is a descendant of the Elgins. He carries a gun halberd named Bardamont, said to be named after a warrior maiden he killed. Now he himself has glowing red eyes and wears full silver body armor with a horned skull-like helmet concealing his face. Nell is a ruthless man who feels that the Empire's invasion of Eorzea is of divine intervention to save its people from their pagan ideals. Nell risen to infamy even among his own people, though he sees them as naught but fools, drawing no distinction between friend and enemy when met with opposition. Word is on the street that his swift rise to power after the death of ill father was no coincidence, as his father's closest aides were executed soon after his burial. Despite these dark rumors, the battle prowess of Von Dernius and the 7th Legion is such that even though they have spent long years in active service, the Empire has deemed them much too valuable to retire from the front lines of the war. This next bit will be containing some spoilers from Final Fantasy XIV 1.0, so forewarning of that. But let's get right into it. Nell has been appearing at some camps to warn adventurers about false prophets. He also meets the player as Ifrit is defeated, asking for the name of one who is victorious over a primal. After claiming that the changes on Dalmund are of Imperial doing for the land's betterment, Nell sees the player and his parties are not interested in joining his cause, as he drains a close ethereal gate using Bardamente and shoots its energy towards the player and his party, destroying the gate in the process. In a later quest, the player is able to use the Echo to view the past of a Gridanian soldier who Nell silenced for eavesdropping in on a conversation between him and Gaius von Basir. In that dialogue, Neil is trying to convince Gaius that just conquering Eorzea is not enough to stop the primals. The forbidden Elgin magic meteor should be cast upon the land to purge them. Gaius, however, disagrees with that view due to the unpredictable nature of Dalmund, until Nell reveals that he can find the 3 tombstones and to fully control the meteor spell. In the aftermath of Garuda's defeat, Nell reveals the deaths of the primals are the key to access Dalmund's power, while telling the player character that he will let the character live long enough to destroy the other primals for him. Soon after the construction of Castronovium was finished and the lunar transmitter needed to call Dalmund upon Eorzea placed inside it and activated to bring down Meteor, however, due to the efforts of the Grand Companies of Eorzea and several adventurers, the device was successfully destroyed. Filled with rage, Nell easily defeats the group and is suddenly engulfed in red light, which he claims to be the power of his master, Dalmund. With that power, he once again attacks, leaving the adventure group badly wounded and walks away, saying he still has the means to purify Eorzea with the powers of Dalmund. Not long after, the companies were able to track down Nell's location to nearby the Elgin Ruins in Camp Glory. An attack group was quickly assembled and sent to the region, only to find the Riven Road. Using the floating island as an altar, Nell sends fiery rocks raining from Dalmund to the countryside, before the party arrives on the Enterprise. Losing a fierce battle, hoping to use the party as sacrificial offerings, Nell resorted to bathing in Dalmund's light for more power, losing what was left of his mind and becoming a being of pure hatred and destruction. But finally defeated, Nell's body becomes pure energy and disappears into wisps of light, leaving only his gun halberd behind. Being one of the Garlean Legatus, Nell is one of the Emperor's most accomplished warriors. He is shown to be a very skilled lancer, having access to 2 of the strongest weapon skills from the class. Furthermore, his gun halberd is able to drain all the aether from an aetheral node and shoot it as a high energy beam. He is also capable of short-range teleportation without needing to attune to aetherite. After being powered by Dalmund, Nell gained the ability to absorb other beings' life energy and to animate stone golems. During the final battle, he is also capable of altering the aether flux around the Riven Road to capture small fragments of Dalmund and track them to him as small meteors. And by activating the rune's magic glyphs, he is also gaining the ability to unleash a devastating energy beam over the entire area. Some fun trivia for this guy. Nal is a name of Arabic origin meaning triumph, and just like with Gaius, Van is based on a German word von, which means from, but it is also used to show that someone is a member of noble family. Von is also a Dutch word for from. His armor closely resembles those worn by the Arcanian judges of Final Fantasy XII, and in particular, Gabrant's. In United We Stand, after wounding the player, Nal Vondernius takes his leave similar to that of Sephiroth and the burning scene from Final Fantasy VII. Nal's race is never stated in-game, however, many players believe he is an Elezen due to his height and mannerisms. His bowing gesture in particular is very similar to that of the Elezen bow emote. Nal Diosdanius being able to use Mega Flare is likely an allusion to the fact that Delmund was imprisoning Bahamut. Nal Vondernius is the de facto leader of the Garlean 7th Legion and head of Project Meteor, as an allusion to the plot of Final Fantasy VII, Meteorfall. Interestingly, despite having been defeated and even apparently killed quite decisively at the close of the Legacy campaign, Vondernius is listed in the Key Enemy section of the Realm Reborn website, alongside Gaius von Balsier and Solus Zos Galsius. Whether this means he survived the previous encounter, perhaps through esoteric means involving the Aether, again like other certain villain from a certain game, or if it is simply a legacy entry to explain who he was, is still unclear at this time. Thank you guys once again for staying tuned to this video. I love doing the What in the Lore videos. Every single week I do them. It's a huge highlight for my week. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share it with your friends. If you have any questions, please post them below. If you have any suggestions or a topic that you wish for me to discuss in a future What in the Lore video, please post that down below as well. And until next time, guys, may the blessing of the 12 be with you.